All right. So you had an issue with excuse me. You had an issue with abortion not being recognized as a potential also ethical significant ethical issue as much as well specific on my Bible video you replied to and it can be also seen as abortion being equal to you would say bivalves as I brought up regarding an ethical issue.
Well, I mean, we can get into that. My point was just I don't see how you can be vegan and be pro-abortion. That was really my point.
Oh, okay, okay. Just that simple. Okay. And I do recall the
Right.
debate proposition that did challenge you. It was directly, specifically, um, I'm just gonna say it verbatim. Um, Abortions are necessary or not, and are ethically consistent with veganism or not. That's basically the proposition.
Yeah.
And you take the position to be anti-abortion, and obviously that is not necessary nor ethically consistent. And I would take the exact opposite. Am I correct?
Yep. Yep.
All right,
I agree with that.
all right. So, I mean, would you like to start, make your case, or would you like me to begin?
Uh, sure. I can state my point very simply. The definition of veganism, and I imagine there's a couple, but the first one that comes up, it says veganism is a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. Um, and I would argue that um, human life would fall under that category. And I don't see anything in the definition that would exclude preborn babies.
Okay. So I have specific questions regarding that claim. Do you consider all human life to be equal of value?
Equal about all. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. If I consider all human life
I can
equal,
ask in detail, in specific questions in detail as well to break it
okay,
down. So
okay,
do you find that human cells, just a regular human cell, like we're made up of multi cells, right? Just do you find
right.
that a single human cell life is equal to a human life or equal to a regular animal life?
Well, a cell is not a person, right, or is not a human life, right? So that's separate than an actual being, right? Because we were flaking off dead cells all the time, whatever,
Okay, so you
you're cutting your nails. So, I mean, that's separate,
okay,
that's part of you, not is you, if that makes sense.
okay, so you just talking about the human being, the Homo sapien, the multi-cell organism of Homo sapien, human.
Right, right.
Okay. Now my next question then would be, would you consider Adolf Hitler's human life to also be equal value to whatever animal or just a non-Nazi human being life?
Well, I mean, I support the death penalty if someone, you know, commits a heinous crime. So, I mean, in terms of value, I put humans as a category higher than animals, but individuals, well, they're individuals who should be put to death. So, I mean, again, that's the way I would frame it. Whether I think, Hitler's life is more valuable than a pig's, I mean, to me that's not really a relevant point. I mean,
Now I'm just
again,
asking what's your
people,
preference, and then also what you define specifically to being equal of a value to consider within the definition of veganism.
Well, I consider human life as a category above animal life. And that obviously there's certain humans who, based on things that they do, need to be punished. So, you know, uh, um, someone like Hitler would be put to death, right? So I mean, to say if I value his life more than a chicken, again, it's not about value. It's about assessing how you treat a person based on what they've done. So, so that's to say,
Okay.
someone's a mass murderer, put them to death.
Okay. Do you, so I know you said you value just human the Homo sapien being life more than you say a non-human animal. Is that, am I correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So say that a human was their actions were equal to Hitler, but the only victims that the human has not imposed on a I mean their victim, that the human whose victim is not human and is just only non-human animals. Would you say that those humans are also more valuable than a non-human animal?
Are you saying if a person killed animals?
Yeah, yeah. You so the exact same actions that Hitler imposed onto human beings during the
Right.
the Jewish as well as all other minorities within that region and also obviously worldwide if he had the choice
Right.
to Holocaust.
Okay.
I know it's like at least well I don't know the exact statistics. It could range between, I think it was at least 4 million Jews or something like that, all the way to 10 million. That's as far as I recall, but I may be wrong. I'm willing to admit that. You can correct me.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so whatever that range, all the way up to 10 million, if that is the highest estimate of victims. Um, so let's say that a human being was to be responsible for, who's not vegan, uh, thousands of different non-human animals, would you say that they are still more worthy than the non-human animal victims that they have, um, victimized and holocausted, equal to how Hitler has forced the human atrocity to play out? So, like, let's say that the human has paid for most of these thousands or is responsible for paying for thousands of these innocent non-human animals to be in gas chambers equal. So like pigs, they're
Okay.
highly regarded
Yeah.
as extremely intelligent, is as intelligent as a I know I like a 2 year old 3 year old human child, etc. Do you recognize that?
Well, I see what you're saying. I think I'll answer that, but I feel like we're getting away from the original
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I'm just trying to
topic
spell
there.
out
But
where on value do you place you said because you value humans, and I'm asking specifically so you answered that obviously generally it depends on the human's actions. Well, now I'm asking, so on based on the human action of a typical non-vegan who's paying for thousands of different non-human animal species to go through exactly what Hitler has forced human victims to go through, as well as other animals, because he was not vegan. I want to also mention that. Um, he wasn't even vegetarian. I also want to mention that. And if anybody disagrees with that, I could just point out that if need be, I could just point out the evidence or respond to the comments if need be. So yeah, I'm just asking for um, obviously there are humans who are not vegan and that equal to what Hitler has done to the human victims, that they're forcing thousands of animal victims to go through it. Do you value them more than you do with the non-human animal victims? Um, and I don't even know the specific range that you would consider valuing each of these non-human animals, but yeah, in the totality, generally speaking, if you know exactly what I'm
yeah,
asking.
yeah, I know it. Well, it's I'm in general agreement with current laws, which say that you have a right to use animals to your benefit for practical purposes. I oppose people killing animals for the pure enjoyment of, people who uh, get off on harming animals. That's illegal, and I support that staying illegal. But in terms of if you're talking about someone who's working at a slaughterhouse, and you know, no, that's not a crime. It's a job. That's my position on that.
Okay, do you recognize that also in Nazi Germany, technically it was legal for what they did to the Jews and other n non-Jewish minority
Sure.
populations also.
Right, but I don't, like I said, I don't view humans and animals the same. So
Okay,
obviously I
so
would,
go ahead.
right. So obviously I would oppose the killing of people, like the genocide of people. Obviously I'm against that, but I don't compare that. I don't compare Jews to chickens. I mean, to me that comparison's offensive.
So you understand what well, obviously you don't. But so I would ask you to name the trait that is present in the chicken, and if true of the and if that trait was also true of a human, would you say that um the comparison is not offensive to apply, and that you would have an issue with the human going through exactly what the chicken is going through. As a I mean, you would have an issue with the
Okay,
chicken going through what the human is going through. In that
okay,
basically,
okay.
I'm trying
I
to.
understand what you're saying.
Okay, cool.
I understand what you're saying. So before I answer, I need to get this clarification from you. So it's your position that there is no difference of importance between a chicken and a human. Because to me, that's what you're trying to ask me. So to me, if you're asking in good faith, then that means that you don't believe that there's any significant difference in importance between a chicken and a human. You understand?
Okay, so you want? Can I reply to that?
Sure.
Okay, so my position personally is, um, as long as you're a sentient being, your value is equal across the board. I literally apply animal rights consistent from human rights. So obviously that would mean as much as any human has a right to live, it will also apply to be logically consistent that any animal that is sentient also has a right to live. Now there are some animals that I am willing to acknowledge that they probably can't be sentient, but that surely I do not. I would never acknowledge that bivalves are one of them. I would out to give context. I would acknowledge that a sea sponge is not sentient because it lacks the necessary neurological traits that are required for sentience. Um, Lacking a brain, lacking neurons, and lacking any you know um,
Well, why does
any
that
motor
matter?
functions is so I'm saying that's my position, that's my personal opinion of why I value non-human animals to human animals. I care about the logical consistency of applying. I see no significant trait to differentiate between a chicken and a human being that would justify treating the chicken equal to the Jewish Holocaust and not any human being, basically, if that makes sense to you.
Right. So
So
you're
that's
so in
my
your
position.
eyes,
Go ahead.
so you're in your eyes, the slaughter of 10 million chickens is no different from the slaughter of 10 million Jewish people. Like you would put them on an equal plane in terms of uh, evil.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes. And that's why I'm asking you to name the trait of what is that trait difference between a chicken and a human being, where you would say if that trait was also applied to the human, would you say that it's okay for the human being to go through exactly what the chicken goes through? regarding Holocausting.
Right. So just so we're clear, um, in your mind, in your world, if you had to save, if you could only save a chicken or like a 5-year-old child, it would be a coin flip over which one you would save. If you could only save one, like for you, it's like it could go either way. That's what you're saying because you're saying there's no
So
significant difference between the two.
right. So if I was required to have to just give a coin flip, rather than just outright choose who I would rather sacrifice regarding the rights, because again, from my position, I think that non-human animals should have equal rights exactly to human rights, regarding basic rights like right to life, right to body autonomy, right to
Freedom of
freedom, as
movement,
long as as long as they're not harming anybody else, etc. And that's
freedom of
why
speech.
so obviously, animals cannot speak or give any form of actual verbal or written equal to humans. So that would not be a right to be applying to non-human animals. But in the cases where animals have basic identical abilities towards humans, I would apply those exact same rights consistently. And
So
it's just like hold on, it's just like with severely disabled humans, you would not give them a equal right to vote because they lack the understanding due to their severe retardation to be able to make a conscious choice on who they want to vote for. So I would not give them rights to be able to vote.
right, so they have far less rights, right? Like for instance, someone who's severely disabled
Hmm.
uh, would not have the right possibly to travel by themselves. They would not have the right to manage their own finances. Uh, so someone someone in that situation has had their rights severely limited,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, because they're not able to, perform that for
Right,
themselves. Exactly. Just like with animals, they don't have the ability to be able to speak for themselves or to be able to write anything for themselves, to basically be equal. It's just like a human child. A 2-year-old child would not be able to understand any choice of their own fruition to understand what's best for them. So obviously they need to be there needs to be authority to be able to provide the best care and and well-being for them until they're able
right,
to yeah. So the exact
right.
same consistency right there. Yeah.
Legally, there are limits uh, in terms of what a parent can do with their 2-year-old, but basically, a parent owns their child, right? A
I
parent
agree.
of a 2-year-old.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. So you agree with animal ownership?
So
You would support that?
I agree when it is when it's required to be able to because of the potential hazards if not given that obviously you can be causing negligence and the child can accidentally kill themselves or anything like that can happen. So in the case where in the case of non-human animals, I would agree that yeah, animals need to be well, first of all, they need to be
Own.
they no, not owned, they need to be enforced to living peacefully as we would among the human population. So that means as long as they're in our care, and as well as practically speaking, if
Well,
possible.
what do you mean? What do you mean by our care?
So yeah, in our care, like it's our responsibility to make sure that they're good, that their well-being is being preserved, the best of interest is being enacted in
So
practice.
under our, so under our control, uh,
So
owned basically.
So obviously you can own a child, but you can not be promoting the best welfare for them, right? So again, it's not just simply
Absolutely.
ownership; it's about providing the best outcomes for them, so they're able to,
Right.
reach the age of where they'll be able to provide for themselves, right? So that's exactly the
Right.
exact same extent with non-human animals. As long as we're in there, we have control over them. We should be, equally, you know, legally also, but just ethically speaking, responsible to making sure they get the best outcomes as possible, while
Well,
being,
why?
you know, enforced to not being allowed to, you know, murder other animals, murder other people, etc.
Why not? What you said? You
Well,
said it's
because we don't allow that in the
unethical.
human
What?
population. Again, we don't allow murderers to run free around this, you know, in society, because that would be the
Well,
exact
what?
opposite of providing the best outcomes for society.
Why is that immoral?
Again, logically consistently from human rights to animals. So again,
No, no,
in
no. Why is killing a person immoral?
is killing a person or moral for, well, it depends on the reason for killing a person. Like, I would support the killing of Hitler in order to save non-Hitlers from existing. So, you know, to save them and be able to provide the best outcomes for them, as well as preserve their rights, right?
Well,
So for
why is killing anyone immoral?
so so obviously you can kill somebody, but it could be moral in order to save somebody, or save multiple people, or save multiple animals, etc. Um,
No, but why is murder immoral in general?
because you're violating. So yeah, the general reason for why murder is wrong or immoral
Right.
or unethical is because it'll be promoting a negative overall utility. It'll be reducing the rights, and it'd be obviously increasing rights violations. So that's a
Well,
problem in of itself. If we're reducing,
why
or go ahead.
why is that a problem? Why is it immoral? If it's to my benefit to do that, why is that immoral? If I
Because
why is anything immoral?
so why murder is immoral is because it's causing a negative overall utility for our society. Basically, it will lead to us ending up in a um you know, a lesser, extremely less population, almost to extinction, if we allow murder to run on throughout, you know, normal society, everyday society. And that will
So
cause a basically, in, you know, an extinction to be logically consistent.
so what?
And I think people should be, they have a right to want to exist. So I would not allow murderers to run free within society. Exact is the same with, you know, herbivorous animals. I would not allow, whether it's humans or carnivorous animals, to roam around and freely murder those prey animals, or whatever you want to call them, or I would call them victims. So it's just however you want to refer to them, but yeah, I think.
Well,
Mhm.
well, I guess what I'm trying to get to is where do you get your morals from? Like, where do you determine that anything is right or wrong? Because
Just
what
how
if
we,
my
already inform our society. I'm just being logically consistent from how our society is formed, at least within the US, and I'm extending that to non-human animals. So that's where
but
it's formed from.
where does the U.S. get its morals from?
It's subjectively determined. So just like
Is it?
our current society is completely formed from, throughout history, it was not formed this way, right? So throughout history, we've evolved. So I'm evolving from our, right now, our status quo, to being even more logically consistent and more ethically consistent, um, from humans, and applying that also to non-human animals.
Well, how is it? How would it be logically consistent? Because I mean, if I don't know if I agree with this, but there are people who say, well, U.S. history has increased the rights of humans, of people. You would agree with that, I assume, right? That through time, people have gained more rights.
Exactly. Yes.
You agree with that?
And that's how we've
So,
they've been able to preserve and mostly keep society safe and free from crime. Mostly, we have lesser crime
uh,
than has been throughout history, and we was able to increase our population as a result.
well, I don't know what point in history you're referring to. I mean, I might
I
disagree
mean,
with that, but
just throughout our history, like we started from Wild Wild West, no laws, everything is, you know, everybody's for themselves, and nobody has any right to anything, and it's only a matter of taking for what you can get, and you have no protections by law, etc. from that point of view, I mean, from that point in history all the way till today, where you have rights and protections, and now from my point of view, I want to extend that to also the non-human animals.
Right, but in your pursuit of giving rights to animals, you're actually taking away the rights of people. I mean, you do realize that.
So I don't think people have a right to harm anybody that they want. So again, people don't have a right to murder other people just when they feel like murdering somebody. So
Okay.
yeah, you should
Okay.
not,
Well,
to be
well,
logically consistent, you
can I
should
give
not
you
be
a few?
allowed to also murder another non-human animal either.
Well, can I give you a few examples? Like, let's say,
Sure, go ahead.
like right now, if you own a restaurant and you notice there's mice or there's rats, right now, as the
Hmm.
owner, you have a legal right to go call an exterminator and kill
Sure.
as many rats as you want. Now,
Hmm.
what you're talking about would now make that illegal. If
Hmm.
let's say you have termites that are eating away at your home, you'd have
Hmm.
a right to call an exterminator and kill them. What you're saying is, well, they have rights.
Hmm.
So that would mean that you can't kill them. That would be murder, right? They have a right to life. So in short, what you're arguing is that uh, someone just would have to take, I guess, the restaurant now being filthy, people get sick, maybe the restaurant gets shut down, maybe your home just falls apart because, hey, we don't see a difference between rats and people. We don't see a difference between termites and people. So what we're doing is we're decreasing the rights of people in favor of animals.
So I can, if you allow me to respond to at least the first part, and then I'll respond to the second part, the second hypothetical question.
Right.
Okay, so the first part, so just like how a restaurant, so there's people that come by a restaurant and vandalize a restaurant, right? And it could be also a
Right.
mass of people where it's a riot. Now, by law, I don't think anywhere within the U.S. at least, anybody's allowed, in order to protect their property, to mass murder every single one of those rioters on site, um, in order to protect their property. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay, so again, to be logically consistent, now I understand that there's extreme amount of impracticability regarding making sure all those mice and whatever rodents you want, or I don't know, people like to call them other names, but all these animals that are, well, first of all,
Ha.
helpless, but yeah, that end up becoming pests basically.
Right.
Yeah. I understand that it's not mostly, at least economically practical to remove all of them without killing them, but again, there should be practical standards in place to be able to protect those animals, where um, they can call in for public services or whatever they need to help to get these to remove the source of the infestation, as well as to or if need be to have to like to destroy the nest or whatever it is that they're sourcing to cause an infestation. Now, I think there should be a right to have to destroy the source. I look at the source of an infestation like a nest or anything like that. I look at that as the same thing I look at abortion, where the mother doesn't um well, the mother would have a choice to either want to carry or to get rid of the nest, because it'll end up forming sentient beings. But at that point, while it's still within the mother's body, or within the nest itself, um it's able to um uh at that point, it's just a responsibility of whether to either relocate it or to completely destroy it, in order to prevent any future a future worse outcome from occurring. So I look at it from that point of view. So in a situation where in order to destroy a infestation is to destroy the nest or destroy the source of infestation, um and it may result in killing some sentient beings. I can, for practical
So isn't
reasons,
that murder?
so I can look at that as a potential, um that would, in my book, that would not be considered murder legally, and I would not also consider that murder ethically, because I look at it the same as abortion. The mother is complete property of that, of the body part that's growing within her, to be able to develop to sentience. Now, since she's in complete control of that body part, she's able to control whether she wants it to live or not. So again, I don't look at it as a murder, because that in,
So
you can't murder
so you
something
have the
that's a part of you that you just don't want to carry, or don't want to, take to term or whatever. So like, I could just cut myself, but I'm not like actually, um like the cells in my skin, they're not, they're part of me, but I can just get rid of it, and then, it's no issue. Like, it's the same thing with abortion. You're just eliminating a potential, life that can potentially also have a worse outcome if birth, or being forced to carry through. You force a female to carry through it to term. So I'm more preventative on that measure. So I would allow abortion, or I would allow the, elimination of the source of a infestation to, be, aborted, basically. So if that results in somewhat killing some, sentient beings in order to, save more sentient beings, um, then I'm all for that, because I just look at that as, well, I'd rather violate one right than violate multiple rights. Because I mean, obviously, violating more rights is a worse crime, in my opinion. So that's how I look at it. Do you understand where I'm coming from with that?
so so you're in support of um you would attempt to minimize the amount of murders, but
Right.
you would be okay with the murders.
Yeah, if the murder would result in less rights violations, or a better outcome for the majority of the potential victims that would occur if not, the murder occurring, then, yeah, I
Well,
would.
because
Go ahead.
because let me correct something you said earlier. Because you said that earlier, if a group of people were to vandalize a business, that you don't have a right to kill them, right? And I
Yeah,
agree.
right. Not the
Right.
individuals
Now, hold
themselves,
on.
right?
Right. So if a group of termite people, right, group of termites started eating at your home,
Hmm.
then what right would you have to kill them?
Yeah, I would say you have a right to destroy the source of the infestation, but not the actual infestators. So you should be removing the infestators, or the actual pest animals, the actual sentient beings, the actual, non-human
And
helpless animals, and replacing them or repopulating them elsewhere, where they're not infestating any property of, whether it's a human or a non-human animal, property rights.
well,
And I will
well,
also,
one,
if I may add, I will also consider the, fetus to be a property right of a female. So I would not be in favor of forcing a female to carry the term if she doesn't want to, or vice versa.
oh,
I would not force a company property, to be, infestated if they don't want to have the infestation occur. So yeah, I find
okay,
that completely consistent.
okay. So if an animal is your property, you have a right to kill it.
So I don't believe in animals being property. So no, I don't agree with that position.
Well, you're using the word care, right? Because a mother would care for for the baby, right? Care. So we could either say own or care, but we're basically talking about the same thing,
Okay,
right?
as long
Because
as that's
that's
interchangeably,
what
recognized, that's fine.
that's well, because that's what a woman, that's what a mother does, right? They
Not
care
necessarily.
for
Not
the
necessarily. No.
right. Well, they sure they don't have to, but just as someone can have an animal, and some people care for them as pets, and some people
Mhm.
farm them and turn them into food, right? And you're saying you're
Mhm.
fine with either.
No, I'm fine with
When it
I'm
comes
fine
to
with the mother aborting a
hold on,
fetus. I'm not fine with people raising, and no, not raising. I would call it, they're raping,
but
they're
why not?
torturing, and they're, directly abusing an animal for their
You
own selfish purposes, which would result in an increase of rights violations and less well-being for the
no,
victim. So
No, but
again, there's a combination of the well-being factor as well as the rights. So if
so
something
how are
reduces
you?
rights violations, I would be in favor for committing that so-called wrongful act in order to produce the best outcomes. But in the case where you're killing an animal to raise, well, first of all, in the case you're raping an animal to be able to give birth to future animals to be raised and then farmed, and then to kill and then either sell or to increase your well-being, your selfishly increase your well-being, that actually results from my position, because it's logically consistent from human rights to animals, that would actually result in an increase of rights violations and less well-being for both. I would argue for both you as the owner or the carer of the animals that you're victimizing, as well as the also definitely as well as the victims. So
Okay,
I can explain the other part of that with regarding it'll actually result in a negative utility towards you as the carer or the whatever you want to call it, or the yeah.
well, I'm not concerned with uh, so-called negative utility because that assumes that someone knows what's universally beneficial to others, and I reject that idea. To me, that's an absurd idea.
So you don't think so? I mean, obviously you hold a universal position where you think all fetuses need to be protected as well as carried to term, right?
Well, I'm saying that it's immoral to to kill
Right,
a
that's a universal claim.
preborn baby. Right.
You're right. So it's no different from me applying my universal claim regarding the negative utility. Obviously, causing pain
No,
and
no,
suffering is
no, no, no,
obviously.
no, 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 no. Because you're making a claim that you're making a claim about what causes uh, the most harm and least harm, and I'm saying you don't know that. What I'm saying is that
I
I
absolutely
believe
can
in
know that. I can just use
I
my
be,
empathy skills.
so your feelings determine what
No,
causes harm and
I
what
can
doesn't.
directly ask, or we know through the science of neurology of what negative utility and positive utility are. The enacting of pain, etc. All that. We know what causes positive utility and negative utility.
So what determines positive and negative utility is just physical pain.
Well, it could be anything subjective regarding pleasure. So that's what again. So like it's just like I can't read your mind, but I know you don't want me to rape you, right? Because that would be painful as well as that be violating your right to bodily autonomy, right? So again, that would be causing negative utility towards you.
Well, I mean, rape itself implies that I don't want it, right?
Okay. Well, if I forcibly penetrate you without your consent, and then it end up being painful, and then obviously you never consented to it, that would be a obvious case of negative utility. Would you not agree?
Sure.
Okay, that's where I'm coming from
Well,
then.
I don't know what you mean by negative utility, but
It something causing overall negative outcome towards your life, to make you
well, how do
not
you
want
how do you
basically
know that's negative? Because
uh,
you
it's
would receive some. I would assume you would receive from pleasure from that, and
well,
I probably wouldn't like it. But
so
who's to say on that if this is a positive utility, negative utility as a whole? Because there's two sides of this act, right? So
all right, we
where
can
do you
bring up
get that? How do
a
you
unconscious human as an example then. So obvious, well, in my case, I would find obvious. So again, in my opinion, obviously, I think somebody was unconscious, and beforehand they were conscious. They um, did not consent, first of all, to being forced to being penetrated while they were unconscious, um, whether they'll be able to feel it or not. But in this case, they did not because they're not conscious, obviously. Um,
so you
so
would support that
no,
because it would have
I'll be against that because
why?
that'll
Hold
be
on,
obviously
hold on, because that would have positive utility. The victim would know. Hold on, let
no,
me finish.
that'll be
The
negative.
victim, no, the victim wouldn't know. They wouldn't feel the difference. Like you said, they're unconscious in a coma, and you would receive pleasure. The person doing it would receive pleasure from doing it. So in your world, there should be nothing wrong with that. And that's why I reject this idea
So
of
Can I respond to that?
negative. Sure.
So when you're unconscious and you regain consciousness, or whether we can also bring up if you don't regain consciousness, you come to find out once you become conscious that you did not feel that you were violated, but you knew before you were violated that you not did not want to be violated. Obviously, coming to know that fact after you regain consciousness, that will end
But
up
you
causing
don't know.
negative utility. No, no, it does
But you
not.
don't
That
know.
does not matter. The outcome is what matters. So again, whether you want to talk about the in the process of gaining or not gaining any utility from
Hold on.
a
What's the outcome? But what's the outcome?
the
The
outcome
outcome is
results
what?
the outcome
No, no, no.
results in the victim knowing that they were violated, which obviously, well, from their
No, they don't
perspective.
know. They don't know. They don't know. You use the example of someone who's
So
like in a
okay,
coma.
so all right,
They
let's say
don't
they
know.
don't know then. Let's say they don't know.
Right.
Well, okay, let's say they don't know. Well, let's say that when they regained consciousness, they felt pain in areas.
They don't know. They don't know.
Okay, well,
They don't
you
know.
saying they don't know at all? Okay,
They
well,
don't know at all.
okay, let's say that they don't know at all. Okay, let's say that the act was caught on camera and
Let's say they
bystanders
don't
were
know and never
victims.
know.
I mean, well, not victims. They were witnesses to the crime occurring. But the victim, let's say they're severely retarded. They have no idea what they've been through. They have no. They're neutral on the subject, whether it's favorable or not favorable. But obviously the witnesses to the crime, um, let's say that they was disturbed and they or whoever the caretaker or the severely retarded person is, that they know, and as a result of them being responsible to provide the best utility care for the victim, um, that they will find that it was absolutely heinous, and they will want to, obviously they find that it's obviously negative utility in their point of view, as a form of care to their victim, in charge of care for the victim. So I mean, like I don't see how you do not see as that not actually in any circumstance not resulting in overall negative utility.
Well, because you're talking about, again, well, my understanding of the word utility is basically usefulness, like in terms of who is this on net beneficial or damaging? Well, if someone is doesn't know and someone else received pleasure, they received pleasure, so it's good for them. The other person doesn't know, that could be described as positive utility. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe that humans have the ability to fully determine what is truly right and wrong, and that there's another source for that. And that when vegans say, oh, well, we shouldn't do this and do this, they have absolutely no idea the implications. They have absolutely none. And that it's dangerous to get into these assumptions that, oh, well, we could just figure out what's good and right of our own imagination, on our own feelings. I completely reject that idea. And to me, this was a perfect example. You're talking about negative utility. If someone is harmed, if someone was molested when they were in a coma, one person received pleasure, the other person had no idea. In your world, that is positive utility. In my world, that is dead wrong.
Yeah, I don't
And it
find it
does.
as positive utility. Again, I gave the hypothetical where let's say that
Well,
the victim
is
doesn't know,
sexual
but
is
let's say that the
hold on.
caretaker
Is
knows or any
sexual hold on.
witness knew.
Is sexual pleasure positive utility?
Is sexual
Is
pleasure
sexual pleasure positive utility?
so by definition of sexual pleasure, yeah, the technical would be positive utility. But there's
Okay.
there's
So
there,
so
there
one
could be
person.
there could be a hypothetical scenario where pleasure can result in a negative utility. So obviously, you raping that victim and then you end up getting STD. Obviously, that's overall negative
No, no,
utility.
no, 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 no.
Yes,
That
it
no,
does,
no,
because
no,
you
no.
start to feel
We're
pain afterwards as a result, and you have syphilis, for example. Obviously, there's pain in your
no.
genitals every time you have to you either you have to use a bathroom or you want to have sex with somebody else. Now overall, you have to let the person know that you want to have sex with that you have the STD. So obviously
We're
that results in overall negative utility.
we're staying on a very specific example. We're talking about
Okay, well,
someone
okay,
who takes advantage of someone who's unconscious in a coma, whatever, and the other person doesn't know. And so one person receives pleasure and the other person has no idea what happened. And in your world, that to me, I'm looking at that, that's positive utility. I would say that's wrong because I don't believe in this concept of positive and negative utility.
okay, that's fine. I
But what
don't
you
either.
put out,
I'm applying rights from
so you're not
utility.
being logically consistent
No, I am.
with your ideology
I
because that is
am.
positive
I'm
utility.
bringing up hypotheticals, and you're specifying a specific hypothetical where again I could just add extra details to it where it can actually result in an overall negative utility. That's what I'm
No,
mentioning.
no.
I'm not saying that
Well,
I'm
no.
pro. I'm solely pro. I brought up rights before. I never said that I did not apply rights to these hypotheticals. I'm just bringing up this circumstances. Utility only has to do with subjectivity, and also it can apply also have in addition to some objective factors like having syphilis, for example. Obviously, that'll result in a reduced life expectancy, etc., and pain in the future, stuff like that. That's also why I'm bringing it up. But um, yeah, based on simply okay, let's say the victim does not know, and the perpetrator at that specific moment is only gaining positive utility pleasure, violating the victim. In that circumstance, yeah, that in of itself would result in a overall positive utility at that point in time. But
Right.
that's
So
not
you
what I
would
agree with.
support that as
No, I
being
do
a
not.
good and a
I do
moral.
not support that. Again, I told you I believe from human rights to be logically consistent all the way to animal rights. That's my original claim. I never defer from that. I was just bringing up hypotheticals because I don't even know how we got to this point, but I was bringing up from how applying
I'll
logical
tell you how
consistency
we got
from
to this point.
abortion to property rights with eliminating pest species at least the source of it. That's what I'm in favor of. I'm in favor of eliminating the source of pests, but I'm not in favor of murdering pests.
No, so we got to this point because I asked you, well, where do you get your determination of something being right and wrong? And then you started talking about positive and negative utility. Now then you brought up an example, the example of someone being unconscious and being molested or whatever,
Hmm.
violated. And what I'm pointing out to you is that
Yeah, I understand what you're pointing out. I understand.
exactly. So if
Okay.
you're being consistent, logically
From
consistent with your ideology, that scenario, which is a very real world scenario, someone is either
Yeah,
unconscious,
I
someone's in a
don't actually think
coma,
that's a real world
and someone
scenario
molests them in
because
your
that's not
world,
the end
there's
of the
nothing
story.
wrong with that.
That is
That
not
is
the
a
end of the
good
story.
thing.
That hypothetical is not a real life scenario because there are
What
added
if that's
factors.
happened?
Sure, but that's not it because people have also had STDs or any other negative utility that was associated with the violating the victim. So that scenario in of itself, like you're gonna have to point out a specific case where that happened and that's not been reported. Like you cannot prove that in of itself. I'm telling you, there's obviously added um constraints to that hypothetical claim that you claim to be solely true or true in reality. Like obviously there are much more in detail hypotheticals that are more likely to be true than that simple case of hypotheticalness that you claim that is possibly true in reality. So I
Well, it's not
disagree with that.
possibly true. It's happened many times
Yeah, I don't
where
think that.
people get it,
Yeah,
where
you
people
got to
get
prove
taken
that. You're gonna have to
advantage
prove
of.
that. You're gonna
So
have to prove
you're
that.
So you're denying that people get taken advantage of
No, I'm not
sexually
denying that.
when
I'm
they're
denying
either,
that people
sorry,
that positive utility
when they're
solely
incapacitated.
results after having sex with somebody who has never does not know either way of them having pleasurable sex with and without their consent. I do not know of a case existing in a real life situation. You're gonna have to point out the evidence for that.
You don't know of a real life situation of what?
Of the specific hypothetical you pointed out.
So you've never heard of a hypothetical situation
No, I never heard of a
where,
real reality where that hypothetical is true. That's what I'm saying.
right? So you've never heard of a real life example where somebody uh, molested or touched someone while they were unconscious, or in a coma, incapacitated in some way. You could even be talking about someone who, say, has Alzheimer's. That's never happened.
I am not aware of a case known where that's happened. In of itself. In of itself. In of itself. With no other utility factors.
I would encourage you to
Yeah,
look
you
up.
got to you no,
I
you
mean,
got to point out the evidence. Like you have we have access to the chat. You just got to point out the examples
is,
within the chat.
is there a chat? Is there people listening to this? Can I
No,
view
no,
that?
this is not live. This is recorded. You got to
Okay.
point out this specific example. And I
Well, I
guarantee you there
mean,
is no specific case of that being reality. I guarantee that.
Bill Cosby, for instance, would slip women drinks and have his way with
And then look what
have
happened to
his
Bill
way.
Cosby as a result. He's in prison now. Again, overall negative
Well,
utility
he
towards him. Exactly. Yeah, there's no. You have to point out a case where that hypothetical is solely true. No
well,
other, no other
hold on,
possible
hold on.
utility factors in that in of itself in that hypothetical situation.
Hold on. I cannot pick out a case where someone hasn't been caught. I mean, obviously, if there's a case, they've been caught.
Okay, then. So
Now, if
again,
if you want to hold on. If you want to argue that everyone who's done this, so everyone who's committed a crime, that crime has been caught and
no, I'm
convicted, so
not
there's
arguing
no
that.
negative.
I'm saying if
So,
a
so
case
what's
with
your
that happening is gonna also have to be true that negative utility has happened in regard after the fact of that particular hypothetical occurring in reality. That's what I'm saying.
I'm, I'm saying there's people who have done that and they've gotten away with it.
Yeah, and I'm asking you to point out the specific cases where that happened
Well, I
because
can't point
otherwise
at
it's
it.
just a
Well, hold
hypothetical.
on.
It's not a true statement. Again, that's my only point.
Well, again, I can't pick out a case where that's happened
All
because
right,
if
man.
there's a
All right.
case,
So this is just
hold
heading
on,
to a
if
dead
there's
end.
a case, they've been caught.
Yeah,
If
this
there's
is
a
just a
case,
dead
they've
end
been
then.
caught.
So we should move on to something else because there's no winning on either side. All I was doing was pointing out my position where it's coming from, and I'm applying also human rights to animals to be logically consistent. That's all I've been doing.
Well, that's not logically consistent because humans are not animals.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! Did you just claim humans are not animals? Do you not? You never ever heard of biology? We are definitely animals. Just because you believe
Well,
humans are superior to non-human animals doesn't make us not animals. So I take it your
sure,
species is,
sure.
but you're not a
Yeah,
anti-animal
I'm a
animalist of humans.
yeah, I'm a speciesist in
Okay,
that
okay. You
I
believe
see a
humans are superior
clear
than non-human animals, and that's a fundamental
that that's
fundamental
obvious.
disagreement we have.
Yeah,
Okay, so
but so can we get back to the abortion thing?
yeah, yeah,
Because you
for
were
sure.
supposed to
Because
explain.
we were open up with our where we're stemming from regarding our positions, where we're coming from. So yeah, that's fine.
Right. Um, so in your world, just so we're clear, uh, it would be a tragedy to kill like a termite that's eating away at someone's house, but you're perfectly fine with a preborn baby being killed. Now, the pro-abortion stance is it varies, but
So
there
can
are
I
people
answer
who
that first
argue.
question because
Hold on, no,
I
I'm gonna.
can't.
Oh, okay, no, I'm gonna sum this up very quickly. So, the most extreme pro-abortion stance is that a mother has the right to kill her baby right up until birth. Do you agree with that? And
Yeah,
if
and I will
not,
go
where would
farther than
you
that.
draw that line?
I will go farther
Okay,
than that. A
right.
mother has a right to terminate any body part she does not want to hold. And now that I think about it, I would like to add with the condition that the fetus is not or that the fetus that we have practical alternatives to not have to kill the fetus. So like if a fetus is able to transfer from a mother's body to a let's say a tank and then finishes developing within the tank a tank something like that. If that was fully practically available as an alternative, I would actually be anti-abortion of sentient fetuses then at that point. But that's not the case. So I'm full on abortion, pro-abortion all the way.
So you are in favor of sentient uh, preborn babies being murdered or being
Yes.
killed.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So in your world, we should be horrified by uh, a cockroach being killed, but like a 9-month-old uh, baby, that's perfectly moral and fine to kill that baby.
It's not a baby. It's a fetus.
Well, when does it become a baby?
Yeah. It doesn't become a baby until its birth. So it's a fetus. I don't consider it a baby.
Are you don't
It's
consider it?
literally
You don't
the
consider.
female's body part. It's literally that.
Well, it's a separate life. It's a separate person.
We have life within ourselves. What are you talking about?
No, when a woman gets pregnant, she's pregnant with another human life, a separate life
And
from her own.
whenever we're shedding dead skin, we're literally producing more life living cells to be able to reform ourselves. Like, what's the
But
significant difference between those two?
well, one is well, first dead cells, but either way, this is just a part of you and a normal part of your develop. I mean, this is like asking, well, what's the difference between uh, cutting your hand and uh, being killed, right? Are you saying that there's no difference between getting a cut on your hand
I'm
and
saying
being
there's no
killed?
difference between a cell, a human cell, and a fetus. That's what I'm
Dying.
saying.
No, but a fetus is a separate human life.
Yeah, no, no, it's not. It's literally the body part of a female host. That's all it is.
How, how could it be her body part when it's not her?
Because it can't live without her body.
Right, but that
Exactly. It's a body part then.
no, it's
Yes,
no,
it is. It's a
no.
body part by
Okay,
definition.
okay. So why is it wrong for me to eat meat?
Because the animals have they actually live outside of uh, a female host body, and that they're sentient. That's why.
But they taste good. Why can't
So, are
I?
you in
If
favor
they
of
taste
people
good, why?
eating human fetuses then?
No,
Well, they
no,
taste
because I
good.
think
They taste good though.
no, but it's immoral to kill people. It's not immoral to kill other
That's
animals
why I
for
need
food.
the. That's why I need you to name the trait. What's name the trait that is present in a non-human animal, and if present in a human animal, would you say it's okay to kill and eat because they taste good?
Um, well, this is going to take us down a
I'm just
long
asking you to
road.
name the traits that you find significant different.
Um, personal responsibility. That's the trait.
So you think non-human animals are not aware of their responsibility in order to live?
Correct.
You never
They
heard
know
of
how to
wild
survive.
animals? You never
Hold on.
heard of animals that are willing to do
No,
anything to
no, that,
make sure
that
they survive? Literally taking
no, no.
responsibility for themselves to do what they have to do to survive?
So
What do you mean
we
by
as hu
what do you mean by
hold on, I'm explaining. I'm explaining. Uh, we as humans, we do what we need to do to survive, but with certain rules. So, for instance, I'm not allowed to rob you to survive. I'm not allowed to kill someone because it would be my benefit for them to survive. So, we live by specific rules. We respect each other's rights. And animals don't have that ability. They don't respect the rights of humans, they don't respect the rights of each other. They're wholly different. And as such, that's why they don't have rights. There's no such thing as animal rights. That's a fiction. And that's the trait responsibility. So that if I violate your rights, I can be held accountable. You didn't do what you're supposed to do, so I can be locked up. I can be have all my freedom taken away, locked up in a prison. That's what kind of
Okay, you done?
yep.
Okay. So you're in favor of going to Africa and eating African people because they lack the exact same situation or responsibility of the trait that you have, basically,
That
for taste
in
pleasure.
no way did it in no way
That's
did I
exactly
say
what that
anything like
is.
that.
There are human tribes in Africa that do not apply those exact same standards that you just made up, that you just applied to non-human animals. So that by definition, you will be in favor of holocausting those humans for taste pleasure.
No, no, because that's not my point
That's a
at all.
logical
My point is
contradiction.
no, no, no. So, uh, if you're talking about remote tribes, they have rules of engagement amongst themselves and between tribes as well. So,
And
I
some
don't
don't,
know, but
and some
hold
don't.
on.
And for the
There's
ones that
always
don't, are you in favor of holocausting them and eating them for taste pleasure?
no. We're talking about whether they have rights or not. We're talking about
You never,
rights.
no, 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 no. I asked
So
you
I'm
to name the
saying
trait. You
animals
said the
have
trait
no
was
rights.
responsibility. You never brought up no
Correct.
rights. You brought up responsibility. That's the trait. Now, are you
Right.
adding more traits to it now?
No, no, no. I'm saying the trait that's different between animals and humans is responsibility. So that even in a tribe, there's going to be, they may have differing rules than what we have in, the West and the US, whatever, but they have rules. Why? Because that's what they're capable of. Now, unless you're trying to tell me that they're subhuman and that
No,
that
I'm
they
not
can't
telling you that.
engage
I'm
and
telling you
okay,
non-humans also actually, in order for them to be to survive and be, survive among each other, they also have to be pro-social. So therefore, they will also have to have responsibility as well within their own civilized, group. Basically, there are pro-social animals that exist, non-human animals. So and there are non-social or antisocial human groups that exist as well. So, are you in favor? Well, first of all, are you in favor of giving equal rights to the pro-social non-human animals? And then also, my other question is: are you in favor of holocausting and eating for taste pleasure the antisocial humans?
no, I'm in favor of locking them up. So if someone comes and lives in
So
our
that's a logical
society,
contradiction
and
there to
hold on,
me.
no, it's not.
You're
If
in
someone
favor
comes
of
in,
not
hold
locking up
on,
non-human animals. You're in favor of literally eating them for taste pleasure. I just brought up a hypothetical where
well, because
a
I don't eat
human
people.
would equalize that trait, and you're not in favor
Because
of holocausting them for
no,
taste
no,
pleasure.
no, no, but I'm not in favor of eating all animals. There's certain animals I
Yes,
eat and
certain
some I
animals,
don't.
and there's certain humans that will fit
No,
that
there are
trait
no animals.
that you
No,
just
there
named.
are no animals. There's no animals that I'm interested in eating. Or no, sorry, no people that I'm interested in eating.
Sure, okay, but I'm asking for logical consistency. What is that trait difference? And I just pointed out a hypothetical situation where there's a case where humans that live in the African savannah that are antisocial, they lack
What does
responsibility,
that mean?
and
What do you mean they're anti? You don't know them.
they're
What are you
antisocial.
talking about?
They literally are pro murder, and they don't live by rules. That's what
Who?
antisocial
Who?
means. They don't live by
Who told you
rules.
that? Who told you that?
You said that. You said you have to be in a pro social
I never
a
used the
group
term
of
pro-social.
pro social traits
I,
basically.
I,
You cannot
I
be
said nothing of
allowing
the
for
sort.
any antisocial acts to be happening within society. Any um any whatever you mention in detail. Any of that basically.
No, I said if someone violates the rules and laws of a society, they are held accountable, and they need to be held. So they are expected to be responsible for their actions. Now
And
here, no, hold on. Now in here,
go
that
ahead.
means jail. Now, what they do in other tribes to hold people who don't do what they're supposed to do accountable, I don't know.
I'm
You're
asking, are you in favor
speculating.
of those people being holocausted where it is not the case that they are um, human in the way that you are not in favor of holocausting humans for taste pleasure?
That's incoherent. What I'm saying is that
All right, I'll
they
ask you in
may
a different
have.
way. Hold on. I'm gonna ask you in a different way because I think that went over your head a bit. So I'm asking, are you in favor of the humans that do not meet your standards of those everything you just described? Are you in favor of holocausting them for taste pleasure because they lack all those traits that all those descriptions of the trait that you just mentioned that I'm not able to reverberate because all I care about is just applying the I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. But go ahead and answer. I mean think about the terminology I'm looking for.
all humans have the ability to understand that certain things they aren't to do and certain things they are permitted to do.
Are you
Now, hold on. Now,
psychopaths? That's my
if they,
that's my
if
debunk to that.
again, if, for instance, a certain tribe say they move to the U.S. or they moved to the city, the no closest city, and they started eating people, I wouldn't eat, or they started killing people, murdering people. The proper thing to do would be to arrest them, put them on trial, and then throw them in jail or possibly give them the death penalty. I don't know what that has to do with eating.
Right. So you're not in favor of doing the exact same thing for non-human animals, right?
Right, because it makes no
So that would be
sense
a
to put a
logical
chicken on because we're
contradiction
not going
then.
to put a because we're not going to put a chicken on trial. That's ridiculous.
Well, so you're saying it's just like saying you. So you're saying you would not put a severely mentally disabled person on trial, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's correct. Right, because they can't be
Okay.
held responsible.
Okay then. So that means what are you in favor of for the severely mentally disabled person to be put in as a result of committing such heinous crimes that you would claim lacking responsibility trait basically.
So typical. Well, what happens? What already happens? So they might be put into an institution where they're monitored and supervised. Um, Something like that. Like a better example might be children, right? Depending on and this is a honestly is a bit of guesswork, right? Because if a 6-year-old happen to pick up a gun and shoot someone, well, you're not going to throw them in jail. But if it's a 15, 16-year-old, someone who's still a minor, but obviously has more ability to understand what they've done, well, we have juvenile prisons and court systems to deal with that. They may even be tried as adults. So I'm fine with the current system as is. I think that's fair.
And I'm
The
asking you,
more
why are you not applying that consistently with non-human animals?
because because chickens are not people. They're fundamentally
Again,
different.
you're not, you're completely deflecting from my
No, the problem is you keep trying to make an inappropriate comparison. You keep
I'm
on
not
trying to
making a
compare
comparison. I'm making a
chickens to people.
question of your values, your own values. You keep contradicting yourself. I keep acknowledging your trait, and then I mention a or a hypothetical, or not even a hypothetical. There is actual realities within the African continent where there are tribes that are completely antisocial. They don't live by any rules, and then when they commit these
What
atrocities,
do you mean? What do you mean? Where do you get this from? What do you mean they're African
an
tribes? What are you
example.
talking?
There are cannibalistic fucking African tribes. What are you talking about?
Who's cannibalistic? Give me the name of a tribe that
All
you're
right,
saying is
all right,
cannibalistic.
okay.
An African tribe, because you keep mentioning Africa.
Yeah, that's the prime example of anti. I mean, a trait that literally disproves your or not disproves, will point out contradiction within your own ethical framework. I mean, within your trait that you name of responsibility. So African tribes that are cannibalistic. I'm sure there's multiple of them. African tribes cannibal cannibalist cannibalism. Non-cannibal tribes in Africa. I'm just pulling up a regular article. The Basuto, the Ashanti, the
Well,
Kakongo,
you said
Kisama.
non-cannibal.
No, these are pro-cannibalistic tribes.
You said the Ashanti.
Yeah, they're pro-cannibalistic.
You sure about that?
Yes, I have a list right here. It says leading up all the way up to the 19th century, they have been pro-cannibalistic throughout history.
Okay, so they're
Congo.
not now.
No, they still are. It's just that the majority are not cannibalistic, but still within the tribe, they still accept cannibalistic members within their tribe. They're not
And they eat
imprisoned.
each other. And
Yeah,
they eat each other.
yeah, absolutely.
They kill and eat each
Kakongo,
other.
Kakongo,
Th-
Kisama. Look, you're going to have to look
They,
into
they
this yourself. But yeah, I'm listing out all these tribes. I will link this in
well,
the I'll link this in the text chat. Excuse me. All right, I'm linking it right now. Okay, so would you like a minute? I don't know. Or would you
no,
like
I
to?
don't need to. No, I don't. Okay, well, let's assume that let's assume you're right. That they're just as you say they are. They're eating each other off in Africa. I disagree with that, but that seems to be your position. Let's say that's
It's
true.
not my position. I'm just
Um,
pointing out the facts. There are actual African tribes that are pro-cannibalistic.
okay, well, let's say that's true. Again, they have their terms of engagement within their tribes.
Right, but through your own interpretation of what was it, responsibility, that literally goes against what you described. So are you in favor of
No,
holocausting them and eating them for
no,
taste pleasure?
no, no. I'm saying that they're going to have some rules of what's right and wrong, right? Because
Sure.
if uh if one tribe engages in cannibalism, chances are they're not like eating their own children or eating their friends. They're probably eating people from another tribe, you would assume, right?
What does that matter? They're literally murdering
Well,
innocent people who don't want to be their victims.
no, it matters because if they were to kill someone that they weren't supposed to do and eat them, they would likely be
So
punished. They
you're
would be held
pro-cannibalistic as long
accountable
as it's
for what.
okay within a tribe. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that humans have the ability to be held responsible for their actions, and chickens do not.
There are psychopaths who are not able to handle responsibility. Literally,
Exactly.
exactly. Are you in
You
favor
you
of
are right
holocausting
on.
psychopaths and
You
eating them?
no 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 no. You're right on. So what would be done with that if a psychopath commits a crime over here?
You're
They get thrown in prison,
you keep dodging.
and
You keep
that's how they
dodging.
get held responsible.
I'm literally pointing out a logical contradiction within your own framework, and you're not acknowledging.
No, there's not a
There's
contradiction at
Yes, it
all.
is. Yes, it is. I literally just point out nine pro-cannibalistic tribes at least in Africa. They are not able to take responsibility for murdering their victims who they want to eat for taste pleasure. And you're telling me
No, 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 no,
you're in
no,
favor
no. That
of them
no, no.
murdering
You're wrong.
people to eat.
You're wrong. You're
You,
wrong.
you're,
I'm telling you. I
when
am
they have
telling
responsibility
you.
with their own tribe, but they're in favor of not having responsibility to murder other innocent people who don't want to be their victims for taste
No, no,
pleasure.
no, no,
Are you in
no,
favor
no,
of
no.
that? Yes or no?
No, no. So here's the confusion. What I'm saying is that humans have the capacity to be held responsible. Now, you're pointing out that there's
I just
people
point
who
out
engage. Hold
there's some
on,
people
hold
that
on,
don't have
hold
the
on. Let me
capacity.
finish.
They're
Hold on,
psychopaths.
let me finish.
So it literally
And
disproves what you just
and
said.
no, it doesn't because we hold them accountable.
There's
Again,
some
you're
people
held
that can't be held
responsible.
accountable. Again, there are people who are psychopaths and they
Who?
still get away with their crimes. Are you in favor of
No, no,
holocausting
no,
these
no,
people?
no, 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 no,
Oh
no.
my
If
goodness, dude.
someone's a psychopath and they commit a crime
And they're not held
and they're
accountable.
caught, no, 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 and they're caught, they're held accountable. Obviously, if someone commits a crime, they have to be caught.
Okay,
So if they're
well,
caught, no
no,
one's
you
going
could
to say,
commit a
"Oh,
crime and
well,
not be caught.
hold on, let me finish.
Are you
Let me
telling me
finish."
you can be Hitler and then if you're not caught all the way up to the Nuremberg tribunal, the trials that he went through to be executed? I mean, no, not to be executed, to be what was it?
I
To
am.
be found guilty and to be executed if he was still alive. Wait, are you telling me he didn't? He is. Are you telling me he's not? How do I ask that question? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Are you telling me he technically did not commit any crimes until he was found guilty within the Nuremberg trials? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying humans have the capacity to be held responsible for what we do. So you can go up to a person, most people, even a psychopath, and tell them, "Look, you can't kill anyone." And they might be like, "Oh, that's so tempting. I want to do it." And they do it. Well, when they're caught, they're going to be punished.
But they're not caught.
That's my
Then
point.
what? But they're not
Well,
caught.
if they're well, but that's not the point. The point is that we have a system set up in place where we can. There are rules of engagement. We can determine you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, and if you do it,
Right.
then you get your freedom taken away and you get thrown in prison.
And then what about
That
those who
and
do it and they don't get caught?
well, that's relevant to my point. I'm telling you that humans and chickens are fundamentally different in that
I'm
respect. You
asking you,
cannot
what about
hold
the
on.
people who
You
are
can
not capable of of being responsible or receiving or getting caught to be held responsible? What about those people?
well, well. Again, it depends. If they're uh, mentally incapable, they might be held in a institution.
Again, they're not caught. They're not held responsible. What about those people? Are you in favor of
And
Holocaust and eating them for taste pleasure?
how are we gonna eat people that haven't been caught? I don't know what you're talking.
I don't know. You meant you the one brought the trait. As long as responsibility, be at least as you have the capacity to be held responsible. If you are able to have the capacity to
I'm
be held
I'm
responsible, well, for psychopaths, first of all, they don't interpret exactly what you're saying, and then when they commit the crime and they're still not caught, well, they still technically have not been held responsible. So for those people who lack the trait that you just named, are you in favor of
I'm
holocausting them and eating them for taste pleasure?
I'm telling you the difference between you and a chicken is that I can talk to you and say, "Hey, man, um, don't kill anyone, don't steal from me, or don't do." And if you do it, we can put you on trial and lock you up. We can't do that with a chicken. And I'm telling you, that's the trait that differentiates a chicken from a person. Now, we
And
don't
then
need to
what
run through
about
a
a
bunch of
severe? And
we.
in the case
There's
when
no
there's
what about.
a
There's no what
severely
about.
disabled person, what about them? Again, there are exceptions to what you just made. There are
Right.
people who
Of
cannot
course. Of
understand
course.
or
They're
be
all.
held responsible.
Hold
So what
on.
about them?
Hold on. So, first of all, exceptions don't prove the rule. The fact that you can create some
It literally just
rare
points out a contradiction
exception.
within your own
How,
framework. What are you talking about?
no, no, it's not a contradiction.
Yes, it is
It's not
because
a.
you're not in favor of Holocaust to the people that are in the
Listen,
exception of
if,
your literal trait that you just listed.
if I tell you humans have two arms, that's true, but there are exceptions. That doesn't mean I can't say that humans don't have two arms because some people lost an arm or some people were born without an arm. It's
Oh,
generally true
okay.
that humans have
There's
two arms.
another way I can explain this. So there are close to human, the Homo sapien species, but they're not human. The bonobo, let's mention them, or the chimpanzee, but the bonobo they're closer, technically. So bonobos they have the capacity to be able to understand ethics. I'm sure I don't have the specific evidence to my point, but if anybody is interested, just look up bonobos and test of intelligence and them being able to understand what is right and wrong with them being tested for their intelligence. Obviously, they're able to obviously they're within that rule book of the capacity to be held responsible. So by that definition, I mean by to be logically consistent, are you in favor of them being given equal rights to the actual Homo sapien species?
If well, bonobos
Sure, they can't
can be
speak, they
held.
can't talk, but they're able to understand through training exactly what the handler or whatever the trainer has bestowed upon them to raise them to being equal, to being equal with the expectations of being like a human basically. So being treated like a human and also raised to being to treating other humans as as a
Well,
productive
let me give.
member or pro-social member of society. So being with
Okay,
the capability of
I'll help your point. Let's say there was an alien species and they came to live with us, and they could understand. They understood not to kill. They if they had the ability to understand us fully, then yes, they should have rights. There should be human and alien rights. But a chicken that has no concept of property rights, no concept of that it's wrong to kill, no concept of anything other than, well, who knows, then no. And that's the difference because they cannot be held responsible for their actions. And that's the difference
And I just
between
mentioned there
human
are
rights
humans
and
that
animals.
lack that trait exactly. And
Yeah,
I brought up
yes, and
a different
right,
species that you now have
and
conceded that
and
you would give rights.
and
Now, for the
and
circumstance where there is a let's say a chimpanzee, um, they're close to humans, but they are obviously much more primal of a species, so they're less likely to be capable of being held responsible than a bonobo, let's
there's no
say.
such thing as chimpanzee rights or bonobo.
Right. So I'm asking you, since they're not capable of being held responsible, like as you define, um,
Right.
you would be in favor
No,
of holocausting and eating for taste pleasure of the chimpanzees.
no, I'm saying they don't have rights. I'm not saying I have to eat them
So
because they
I'm
have.
asking you from the trait that you named to differentiate difference between humans and non-human animals to be justified to eat for taste pleasure. In the case where there's a chimpanzee and it obviously lacks
No,
that trait
no,
that
no,
you
no,
listed, are you in favor of holocaust and eating them for taste pleasure?
no. What I'm saying is that since animals don't have rights, that we can choose to eat animals, we can choose to test on
I
animals, we
understand
can
that you're
choose
not answering
to
my
put
question.
animals in.
I'm
But why are
literally
you telling me
testing
about
I'm
eating?
literally
I'm
testing
not
your
eating monkeys.
position with logical hypotheticals
No,
and
completely
circumstances. That's all I'm
illogical.
doing. And you're not
Okay,
acknowledging or
what's the
answering with
question?
a yes or no.
What's the question?
And then when you answer with a no, then you try to go in more explanation. Then I keep bringing up another hypothetical where that would test that logic, and you're not acknowledging, or you won't answer, or yeah, you won't acknowledge,
Okay,
nor would you confirm that you would accept that exact same trait difference onto the victim I just named to that would be a victim within your own the trait that you named basically. So
responsibility.
yeah, the capability of being what was it? The capability of being responsible?
Right. Being
Right.
held
So
responsible,
being held
being
responsible.
responsible,
Right. So
and being
and I
responsible.
mentioned there are lack of humans. There's a lack regarding humans, and you just won't acknowledge or you won't acknowledge nor would you defend the Holocaust and the eating for taste pleasure of those humans. So again, logical inconsistencies in your own
Oh,
framework
no, no.
of testing your position to
Be,
differentiate the
oh,
trait, the differentiate the excuse me, to differentiate treatment from non-human animals to human animals.
but we don't have to. But you don't have to eat animals.
I'm asking you, I'm asking from your own position, the trait you named. Are you in favor of eating the people who are exception to the trait that you named, and you just won't
Of course
acknowledge
not. Of course not.
or yeah, you say
Of course
no?
not.
Okay, that's
No,
a
because
logical contradiction.
well, I don't eat people.
I understand that, but I'm asking, are you in favor? I didn't say, do you like to eat people?
Well, no, I'm not in favor.
Okay, that's a logical contradiction then. So you don't actually
Based on
believe
what?
in the capability of being held responsible trait then. So what other trait is it?
I'm not in favor of eating people because I don't believe people and animals are the same. So
I
regardless
understand
of
that. I'm asking in a
right,
situation where there's a person that is equalized towards the non-human animal, would you be in favor of uh, eating them for taste pleasure?
of course not.
Okay, then that's a logical contradiction then, because again, you even when there is a person that equalized the trait of the non-human animal, you're not in favor of treating the human animal the same as the non-human animal. That is a direct logical contradiction.
No, because even if a human had the intelligence of a chicken, it's still a human.
So it's now human intelligence is a trait now.
No, 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 no. The trait is being no, no. You asked, what is the difference? What is the difference that allows us to kill animals to eat that we don't do uh, with humans. Now, I'm telling you, the general trait is responsibility. Now, are there exceptions to that where there are humans who simply don't have the capacity? Well, first of all, every human at some point didn't have the capacity because we're babies, right? A baby doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not in. So no, I'm not going to be in favor of eating babies because a baby doesn't. So that's ridiculous. So
Okay,
fundamentally,
then. So you don't actually
so
care about the trait
fundamentally,
of
so fundamentally,
capability of being held responsible then. Because if you did, that would be you'd be in favor of eating and murdering human
no,
babies.
no, you have it reversed. So
No,
if
no. I
hold on,
asked.
let me explain. Let me explain. If humans did not have the ability to be responsible, right? If we were like chickens in intelligence, all of us, then there would be no such thing
There
as
is no such thing as a same or a equal capability of. There's no such thing as all humans being equal to having the capability of responsibility. I just mentioned there are mentally retarded people. They are obviously not equal to neither me or you. They are
right, but
simply incapable of that. So they will have to be equalized to the non-human animal. Now I'm asking you, are you in favor of Holocaust and eating them for taste pleasure?
no, no, they don't have to be. Why do they need to be equalized to
Because
non-human
that's the trait
animals?
you just used to justify eating non-human animals for taste pleasure.
But there's lots of animals that we don't eat.
You're not understanding, man. I don't know.
No,
You're
no,
not
I get
understanding.
no,
I
I get
think
what
you
you
should
said.
look into name the trait and understand its formation and its the logic of it because it's literally just
So
to
no,
test
no.
your
So let me.
ethical position and
Hold on.
apply it and see
Hold
if you
on. Hold on.
would be consistent to accept it in situations where it's not favorable to accept it. That's literally all I'm
Hold on.
doing. And you're just
I get what
not
you're saying.
acknowledging
Hold
or
on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me try again. So when I first started, I said I believe that humans and animals are fundamentally different. I value humans
uh-huh.
uh, more than animals. You then asked me, well, what trait differentiates? So you asked me for a trait that
Yeah.
differentiates. Now,
You you literally
without a trait, hold on, without a trait, I still believe that human life is more important than other animal life.
sure.
Now, if you
And I look,
hold on, let me finish.
hold
Let
on.
me finish. No, 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 no. Let me finish. So then we got into, well, why is it animals can't have rights? I told you animals can't have rights because animals can't be responsible. And then you said, well, there are some people who can't be responsible. And I agreed. And I told you that those people, whether you're talking about babies, the mentally disabled, do not have full rights. A baby basically has full rights. A baby's under the full protection and control of their parents.
And you still treat them different than the non-human animal. So
Yeah.
I'm asking
Be,
you,
be,
why do you treat them differently from the non-human animal when the exact same trait is also ceased to exist? So there has to be a combination of
because they're
traits.
human. Because they're human. Because
So
they're
Homo sapiens is the trait. Is it Homo
no, no, no,
sapien or
no.
is it human intelligence? What is it?
No, because they're human. Simply because they're human. That's it.
So let's say there's a hologram or something, a human hologram. It looks like a human, it talks like a human, it understands like an AI system or something. Let's say it's a
Yeah, it has
hologram.
no rights. It
Let's say a
has no right.
hologram exactly understands and has the capability of responsibility or it understands that if it was to do wrong, it would be punished and held, responsible under law. So like, let's say AI system was in charge, like within Resident Evil. Are you familiar with Resident Evil?
No, no.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm sure anybody else would. I think
It's like
anybody
a
else from your I
zombie
would have
game,
went to
isn't it?
if they
Isn't that like
would.
a zombie?
Yeah, it's the
Isn't that like a zombie?
zombie franchise. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can explain it. Maybe you'll understand if I explain it. So there's an AI system. Actually, I don't even remember the name of it, but it's multiple different names, I think. But it literally at least how do I say it clones itself like a human, and it is programmed to understand all the human abilities, etc. The only thing it is not able to do is just simply since it's an AI system, it doesn't have a body. Obviously, it's just completely an intelligent system from a computer, literally. But it's
Okay.
programmed to understand all human traits, and be able to be empathize, and as well as provide the best care for humans as it's programmed to do. So in a situation as a result, it understands and has the capability of having um human you know being held responsible, type of level of intelligence, at least in the case. Since it has that ability, um are you in favor of giving the AI system rights over the humans that it does not, humans that lack the capability
No,
of being held responsibility?
no,
Okay, so that'd be a logical contradiction regarding that trait again, because the AI system is technically more human, or more capable than the humans that do not, or not lack that trait that you just listed.
no. I'm saying I value human life above technology and above animal life. Now, you ask
Okay,
me,
so you're just
well, hold on, let me finish. You then ask me, well, what's the difference? Like, what's the trait that differentiates humans versus animals? And I said, well, the difference is responsibility. Now, I didn't say responsibility is why. I'm just saying that is the relevant difference to why we cannot give animals human rights, because they cannot be held accountable. Now, the reason why I value humans over animals is simply because they're humans. And that's why I wouldn't value the life, whatever that means, of a supercomputer, because it's not human. So I'm not going to
So you're
value the,
talking about Homo
and that should be
sapien
common
human, not
sense.
human intelligence. That's what I was trying to get to. So you care about Homo sapien human and not human intelligence. Am I correct?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, okay. So let's say it's
Oh,
an
no, no, no.
alien.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me be clear. I care about human life, and of course, the concept of human rights comes about because of human intelligence. So it doesn't mean that it's irrelevant. It just means that that's 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 what separates us. So again, the you have to be very we have to be very precise here. My issue is that I value human life above the rest, above technology, whatever. And the trait that makes us different is the ability to take responsibility. So a super intelligent computer, no. And to me, by your logic, I guess we should be giving rights to computers.
No, that's not my position. I'm testing your position. But
Okay.
to answer your question, well, not your question. To respond, so you're not understanding where. So, um,
No, I understand what you're saying. I think
so
you're not understanding my point.
no, I understand your position, but you keep on adding or un, you keep on adding or removing and descriptions within the traits. So that's why I keep changing to test that logic within whatever specific the whether whatever the specifics of the trait that you listed. But you keep on not acknowledging, or you just deflecting and not answering whether you would support the the differential treatment of the non-human animals onto those specific humans. So all right, so let's try this again. On a Homo sapien that has obviously that has the capability of being held responsible. So obviously you value those people above all else, right? Let me ask this in this way: you value Homo sapiens that have that have human intelligence and are capable of being held responsible, or the trait responsibility. Is that correct?
I would say that these are the people who have full human rights.
Right. Okay. So you value them more
So I
than the people that lack
no
such,
no
right?
No, no, I don't.
No.
No, I don't.
So
No.
why do you so all right, so again, I'm asking what is that trait difference to differentiate the treatment of the human animal and the non-human animal, and if true, if that trait is true of the human animal, would you then justify um eating for taste pleasure? And
No,
again, you keep not. I'm implying that the exceptions to the exact trait that you listed, and then I try to point out the hypothetical where there's a human that is not equal to that exact trait that you listed, and then you refuse to to to
well,
to.
you're conflating two different
I'm
points.
not
That's the
I'm not
problem.
conflating. I'm literally pointing out a difference. Not a difference. How do I explain it? I'm pointing out an exception to the trait that you listed, and then you're not acknowledging to either accept it to be to to treat those humans equal to the non-human animals. Like,
Right. So,
so
okay,
uh,
let me explain. So you went back and you asked me, do I value the life of um, basically adults, human beings, fully functional, right? Who can be held responsible for their actions, or do I value the life of people who are not fully responsible more, right? That's what you just asked me, correct?
yeah, on yeah.
Right. So essentially, what you asked me as an example is, do I value the life of, say, a grown man or like a 5-year-old child more? And what I'm trying to point out to you is that I value human life in general separately.
I
So I don't
understand
put
that.
the hold on. So I don't put the
That does
life
not mean you
of a
value all
grown
human
man.
life equally. That's the problem with you keep complaining generally and equally. I'm pointing out the unequal scenarios in your own position that you're not acknowledging to be
Well, I would
directly conflating with your position.
well, I would value my own life over a stranger
Right,
generally.
exactly. I okay then.
Right. So
Okay,
what does
we're on the
that
same
prove?
page with that at least. Okay, so
So what does that prove?
I'm asking. So with the people that
So
lack
I
the trait
say,
that
so
you
because I
listed,
value my life more than a person, I got to eat.
do you value the people who obviously have their trait that you listed over the people that lack the trait that you listed? That's my
No,
question next.
no,
You don't value the people who lacked the ability to have responsibility more than I mean, yeah, you don't value the people that have the trait to the ability to have be held responsible over the people that lack that trait.
no. I,
Again, that's a
I
contradiction. You keep
no,
saying
it's not. No,
you,
it's not.
yes, it
Let me
is.
explain to you.
You just
No,
said
no, no. Hold on. Let me
you're
help you out. Let me
conflating
help you out. No,
equal.
no, 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 no. Let me point. Let me just.
You said
Let me
generally,
explain
and
this.
then I
No, no,
asked
no, no,
you,
no, no,
and
no.
then
Let me
I
explain.
asked
Let me. No,
you.
no, 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 no. Let
You
me
said
explain.
you
Let me explain real
value
quick. Let me
human,
explain. Let me
yourself over
explain.
any
Let me
stranger,
explain.
any human
Let me
stranger.
explain.
So
Let
now
me
I'm
explain.
asking, where does that extent go to?
Let me. I understand your question.
Okay, all right, all
So
right, all
the
right.
question is, would I value the life? Because who is fully responsible? An adult. Would I uh, value the life of, say, an adult stranger over my 4-year-old daughter who's not responsible? Of course not. But this is common sense. This should be. I don't know. Maybe this is weird to you, but this is like common sense to most people.
Sure, but again,
So what kind of question is that?
there's a
That's a
different
ridiculous
range
question.
of who you value more over others, right?
Well,
Right?
what does that have to do? What's the point?
Because again, you value animals lower than the severely disabled human, who's the animal's more intelligent, is more capable to be able to be held responsible.
Yes.
So that's a logical contradiction. You and then you're not in
No.
favor of Holocaust and eating those humans that lack that trait equal to the non-human animal. So again, there's a inconsistency with this position that you hold. I'm
No.
pointing out.
No. There's not. Because
All right,
like
man.
I
All
said,
right. So I'm just
I,
gonna have to let
I
my audience I don't know. Maybe somebody else would be
let
interested in because I just kind of I can't try to explain this in any more simple a way I just did. Like
no, no,
I'm
because
mostly a
you're not
simpleton.
understanding what.
I'm not
No, no,
into
because
like complex topics like this, but I think I explained it the best I could. I don't think you're gonna either if you're
no,
not
no.
I'm a assume that you're you just don't understand my questions and that you
No, I
don't
do
understand where I'm
understand.
coming from. Um,
No, I do understand,
we
and
keep
I
going
know
in
why
circles.
you're.
This is not
No, no,
going
no.
anywhere.
No, let me explain. I do understand what you're saying, and I also understand why you're confused. So that's why I'm trying to explain to you to clarify, but you're not letting me. You're not letting me explain. Like I said, I value the life of humans more than animals because they're human. That's the reason. And then you said, well, what's the difference in general between, because we're talking about rights. So you're
Mm-hmm.
conflating rights with value, right? So when you say, well, why is it
No,
that
I'm
we
not
should
conflating
have,
rights with value. I asked
no,
you
no,
to
no, no,
name
no,
that
no,
trait
no, because,
difference, and you said
yes, hold
the
on. And the trait wasn't
ability
about,
to be held
but the
responsible,
trait
or the
was, hold
capability to
on,
be
no, no,
held
no, hold on,
responsible,
hold on,
something
let me
like that.
finish. Let me finish so we can clarify. Let me finish so I can clarify. So you asked me, why is it that animals should not have rights? Now, and before you're talking about, well, what do I value? Whether animals should have rights and what I value, those are two different questions. So I'm telling you, I value humans more because they're human. And I'm telling you,
And
and
I
you're like, well,
understand
why?
that.
Why can't? And then you said, why can't animals have rights? I say animals can't have rights, not because I don't like them, not because I prefer them. I say they can't have rights because they are not responsible. So those are two different things. And you keep trying to sandwich them together. And I'm telling you, those are two different things.
I understand the two different
Because
things.
listen, because let me
I
explain. Because
keep,
hold on, let me finish. No, no,
I
let me
keep
finish.
asking
No, no, hold
when
on, let me
there's an
finish. Let me finish.
exception
No,
to
no, no, no,
whatever
no, let me
trait that you
finish.
just
No, no, no,
listed,
no, no, let
whether it
me
was
finish. Let me
generalized
finish.
or whether it
Let
was
me. Okay,
specific.
we're not
I
communicating because
point
you're
out
not
a
letting me finish
human
the
that
point.
lacks that trait, and then you refuse to acknowledge, or you refuse to just either
But you're
accept
complaining instead of
or
clarifying.
you
You're
refuse to
explaining
either
instead of
accept or to
clarifying.
decline to to being pro the Holocaust of such humans. So again,
So listen.
I don't think
So
you're
listen. So hold on. Let me finish with this. So I may have a dog, and I love my dog. I may even value my dog than the life of some people, right? But
okay.
I know, now hold on, but I know that my dog doesn't have rights. And regardless of how I feel about my dog and other people, I know that that human has rights and that my dog should not. It doesn't matter how I feel about that dog. It doesn't matter how much I love that dog. My dog has no right. I cannot have the
So you're
same
in
right as a
favor of your
person
dog
that
not
I
having any
despise.
rights. Is that what you're telling me?
Say that again?
You're in favor of your dog not having any rights?
Yeah, yeah, correct. Other than
Okay.
my
Well,
ownership.
so
Other
now
than my
my other
ownership.
question is, so if a human who does have rights decided to, I don't know, murder or violate your dog, you telling me you would not defend your dog, and going and I don't know,
Well, that's
press
my dog.
charges on a
Well,
human
that's
that,
my dog. It's
huh?
my dog.
Yeah, I understand.
Well,
Your
it's
dog.
my
I'm
dog.
talking about your dog. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't have a right to do anything with my dog because it's my property.
But again, your dog doesn't have rights. So, like,
No, no, no.
you're in
But
favor
I have
of.
rights. No, 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 no. But I have rights, and someone can't take something or destroy something that belongs to me. You understand? So
So,
I have
so
rights. The dog
you
doesn't
don't
have rights.
recognize your
I
dog
have rights.
having its own rights
No,
to life
no,
or to its own well being,
no,
or so
no.
you believe that you're the sole. That's completely selfish, by the way, but you believe that you are your dog's only I don't know,
Correct.
guide or something. You like to play guide with your dog or something. Is that what
Owner,
you're telling me?
owner, owner is the word.
Yeah,
Owner,
owner, whatever, slave owner is euphemism, whatever. You telling me
owner. Not slave owner.
you telling me you're in favor of your dog lacking um any recognition of a right to have a will to live or a will to um bodily autonomy or anything basic that we apply to humans? Is that what you're telling me?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Well, I see where we're just not gonna get anywhere as a result, and as a result, we definitely aren't gonna get anywhere with abortion. I think we came to where we can come to, and I'll just let the audience attempt to give their
Uh,
critique either way on whatever position they hold as a result of this debate. But
well, I'm disappointed we even touched on abortion. I don't know how you avoided
well,
the whole discussion of
we
abortion.
was talking about, so we kind of touched on abortion, but we got
No,
uh
no, you took it off the topic. I wanted to talk
no
about
no
this
no
because to me it's still a
no,
clear
I didn't get off topic.
contradiction.
I was literally extending. I was talking about from my position how I see abortion on, and I applied it from how I see humans. And I literally then we got to your position where you solely apply generally humans. But again, you would not acknowledge where there's humans that lack such trait that you listed, and then being pro their them lacking the rights equal to the non-human animals. That
Well,
is your
my
position. So
my concern is my concern is that in your world, it's murder to kill a termite, but
it
a
absolutely is. The
baby
termite
that's
has a
about
will
to
to
come
live.
out, but a baby that's
It's
about to
sentient.
come out of the womb, uh, which is also sentient, by the way,
And the termite
like
is
an
it
eight
has
nine
its own
months. And
body
hold on,
autonomy. It's not attached to
and
nobody else.
we're not talking about the termite now. I'm talking about an 8 9 month year old baby.
Okay, we can talk about
Sorry,
the
nine
whatever you want, whatever the
nine
age
month
is. It's
baby
sentient, right?
in the still in the womb, sentient. You're like, oh, murdering the baby, not a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem because it's a property
Wait,
part of its
what
mother. The
what
mother
happened
host
to
is literally in
what
control
happened
of
to
everything that the
empathy?
baby
What happened
does
to empathy and
as
compassion?
a result. Literally, the baby has no choice in the matter what the mother decides. Literally, it can't fight
Why
back.
not?
It can't do shit. Like, so why would you value a fetus over or equalize a fetus to a human being who has his own bodily autonomy rights? It's insane to me.
No, but but the baby's not an invader. The
It
baby was
literally is
put
when the
there.
mother doesn't want it anymore.
Hold on. Okay.
It's literally in
So
her
is it
body. She doesn't want it in her body anymore.
right? But she put it there.
No, she did not. It grew in her body. She didn't put it there.
Well, through her
It's like a
act.
cancer tumor.
No, but through her actions, right?
So
Okay.
what?
Is it okay for me to is it okay for me to eat meat because I find that it tastes good? For what do they call it? Taste pleasure? Is it okay for me to eat meat because of taste pleasure?
Absolutely not.
So then, why is it okay to create a new human life and kill it for
I
sex
don't think
pleasure?
it's okay to create a new human life. But when it occurs, because it does occur, because people are fucking stupid, I think that the fucking stupid person should be prioritized over the fucking fetus that it literally is in control of. The fetus has no say in the matter. So you cannot force a fucking human to carry a fucking fetus that it does not want to hold any longer.
Why not?
Be, post I mean
Hold
hold
on.
on, hold on, let me
Let
answer
me
that question. I'll answer
explain.
that in practical
Let me,
ways.
let
Prematernal
me explain. Hold on. Hold
prematernal
on. Hold on.
depression,
Hold on. Hold on. Let me explain.
the
Let me
mother
explain.
host can be starting to get addicted to drugs and alcohol, etc. All these mental
Right.
health issues, all these fucking practical health issues. The mother could be not eating properly and fucking causing the fucking purposely or accidentally as a result of her incompatible mental state to have the fucking baby or have the fetus be birthed to
Okay.
carry all the way to term. So many different practical fucking problems that can happen. That's
Okay.
why.
So
So the
so
fucking
if
mother should be allowed to fucking abort at any time because she's not
okay.
eight. Sometimes, well, not sometimes. Most of the time, when she doesn't want to have it, she's not capable to hopefully give birth to that fucking baby.
Okay. So if a
So
mother becomes stressed.
it's better for the fetus to not be birthed and to be killed than it is to be birthed and have deformities or any other different type of potential genetic health problems.
No, but that's okay. Well, there's a couple of issues I have with that statement. So what if a mother is stressed and has had enough with her like 3-year-old? Should she be able to murder
No,
her three
no,
year old?
absolutely not. Because the 3-year old has
Well,
his
why
own
not?
bodily autonomy rights. That's why. It's not part of the mother's body any longer. That's why.
But again, like as we said, the only reason why the baby exists is because of simple sex pleasure, right?
Maybe
Because
not. Maybe
the
it's for some other type of issue. The mother could have been raped and
no,
she
no,
still
no.
decided to have the fucking baby because I don't know. People have all
Oh,
different types of fucking decisions to have babies.
Okay, so you would be against abortion unless it's like, say, rape, or maybe the mother's, possibly died. But
No, no,
if
I just told you this. There are hypothetical situations where it's depending on the host who decides on whether they want the mother host decides whether or not they want to have the abortion or not. Depending on their mental state, there's all different types of reasons why they would decide to have abortion or not. I'm just mentioning that it's just a wide range of reasons.
okay,
I am pro abortion all the way through what is it, its stage of development. That's my position. I don't care.
okay. So
So
so what you're
anytime
saying, so
when
what
a
you're
yeah, anytime that a female host of a fetus wants to have an abortion, I'm not I have no ethical problem with that, and I would not be for forcing them to carry all the way through to birth. But once they
well,
have
well,
birth, I am not in favor of them murdering the fucking baby because it's now is actually a born baby with a bodily autonomy rights at that point. It has its
so
own body
so
and its own actual will to live, and it has a choice on whether it wants to live or not at that point.
yeah, but it's still dependent, right? It's still dependent on the mother.
But it has a bodily autonomy rights. That's my point.
Right. So if the mother's like, "Hey, you're independent, you do your own thing," and it's a 4-year-old, and she like leaves it there and it starves to death, like that's not murder, or that's not a crime,
I didn't
right?
say that
Because
wasn't a
hey,
crime. I just said
you
that's
go
not. She should not be allowed to murder the baby at that point.
no, but she's not actively killing. She's just going to leave it there.
Okay, that would just
And
be
look,
negligent. Whatever it is, manslaughter. Or something. I don't even know. I don't know what the
right.
legal
So
terms are.
so
But yeah, I'm not in
so
favor
that's
of
not
her
a
being
crime.
negligible
So
to
that's not a crime.
her. No,
That's
that
not
would
a
be a
crime.
crime. But it's not
Why?
murder. I'm
Why?
just saying it's not murder. But it is a crime. It will lead to
Why? Why is it a crime? Why is
it's
it a crime?
negligence. It's literally negligence of some type of lacking given the adequate quality of life that the child needs in order to survive. Because obviously the
No,
child
but
can't survive on its own.
no, no, but you just said the child has bodily autonomy.
Yeah,
So right. So now you're saying that the mother should be forced to give resources to,
not
possibly
necessarily.
breastfeed.
If she wants to give the child up for abortion, I mean not up for abortion, excuse me, up for adoption, excuse me, then I'm in favor of her doing that. But yeah, she should
I'm
not be
in,
allowed to be negligent
I'm in,
towards her child
hey,
when she doesn't want to raise the child any longer. She needs to
we
be
agree.
okay.
We
Then
agree.
we agree on
Just
that.
extend just extend those rights out to when she's pregnant as well, and we completely agree on this issue.
I disagree that the fetus deserves bodily autonomy rights. So that's where I disagree with you on.
Well, the baby is dependent in the womb. The baby's still dependent outside of the womb. So to me, it's
But
illogical
the
to now
fetus is
expect.
not is not outside of the mother's
So
uh,
what?
uh,
So what?
body, basically property. The
So what?
fetus is literally the property of the mother. That's why, because it's literally a body, a piece of the body part of the mother. So if the mother decides
It's
to
a separate
eliminate,
life.
destroy a
It's
body
not a piece
part
of her
of
body.
her, that's literally
It's
what
not
the
a
fetus
fingernail.
is. I don't. It's not murder or an infanticide. It's literally until the fetus is birthed out to be having its own bodily autonomy, being a separate um, bodily form, living organism outside the mother's body, and it starts to live at that point, then that's when it deserves bodily autonomy rights. And then you should not the mother host should not be allowed to kill the infant. At that point, it would be an infant.
Why? You're just asserting that.
I, I,
You're
what do you
you're
mean? I'm
just
asserting.
declaring that
It's
it.
that's literally a statement of fact. I'm not
No,
asserting
no, that's your
anything.
opinion. That's your opinion.
What
That's
is
just
my
your
opinion?
opinion.
What is my opinion?
No, no, I'm saying that is just an opinion. All you offered was
What
an
is
opinion.
just an opinion? What did I just say that is just opinion?
All of it. You just said it's the mother has a right to kill the baby up until it's born, and then when it's
I did
outside
not
of the
say
womb,
baby. I said fetus. I don't
sure,
acknowledge
feed
that
it,
the fetus is
feed
a
it.
baby because the fetus is not outside the mother's womb, which
Okay,
means it's
hold on.
not an actual baby. It's not an
Hold
actual
on.
infant. It's
Okay,
literally a
okay,
fetus.
okay,
It's a
okay,
body
okay,
part.
okay. That's no, it's not a body part.
Yes, it is a body
It's not a
part. Is it
body.
not a part of the mother's body?
It's attached. So it's
Is it
not a
not a
part of
part of
her
the
body.
mother's body in order to develop? If it's not a part of the mother's body, then it can't actually develop. Then
No, it's a separate body. And you know how we know this? Because she gives birth, and there's another human being, right?
right, and
So like,
guess what?
right.
And then guess what?
So
If the
hold on.
mother
So hold on.
dies,
So hold on. Let me finish.
doesn't the fetus die with the mother?
Sometimes, sometimes not. There's plenty of times where the mother's given birth and died, and the baby survived.
Okay,
Lots
then
of
once
times.
at that point when the
So
baby
what are you
comes out
talking
of the
about?
mother's
You just
womb,
proved my point is wrong.
that's when it has body autonomy rights. It's not a fucking baby until it comes out the mother's womb.
No, but there are women who have died before the baby's been
Sure.
born, and they've
And
been
then
able to save the baby,
once it
and
came
they've been
out,
able
that's
to
when it
save.
became a baby, and it started to have body autonomy rights.
No.
It's
She died. She died. There was a separate life, so they were able to save the separate life because it wasn't part of her body. You know, like if you died,
once it came out, it
right?
wasn't a part of her body.
No, it wasn't part of her body inside because that's why they were able to bring the baby out and save the separate life.
But you acknowledge sometimes that the fetus does not detach from the body, so therefore it would have to be a part of the body, the female body, the host, the
No,
mother.
no, it's a separate life.
I'm
It's a
we
separate
have
person.
separate
It's
life
a separate person.
of single human cells. They're living. Okay?
It,
It's exactly the same fucking situation we're talking about.
no, because cells are part of one person, right? So
Oh my goodness.
you have liver
A
cells, you
fetus
have
is not a
skin
person.
cells.
That's the difference that we have. A fetus is not a
Well,
person.
it's it's a separate human life.
It's not a person.
Well, that's person is a legal term, but if we're talking biologically,
It's
it's
not a person
separate
biologically either.
human life. No, I said it's a separate human life.
Okay, but I'm arguing it's not a it's not a person, so it does not deserve bodily autonomy rights, which means if the mother decides to terminate the pregnancy as a result,
Well, that that's
then
your opinion.
there's no actual
That's your
killing
opinion.
of a human person, an actual person. Once it becomes an infant outside of the vagina, that's when it becomes a person.
In your opinion.
Okay, dude. All right. So we just had to agree to disagree position. Um, again, I'll just let
Okay,
my audience. Huh?
so hold on. So just so we're clear, like, because I want to be 100% clear. So in your view of the world, it's murder to kill a termite or a cockroach, but killing a 9-month-year-old preborn in the womb, that is perfectly fine. I just want to get that, and that's what you believe. That's your view of the world.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
And
Well, we
then
definitely disagree, but
can I get your concession on a question I have? So, um, in your view, well, first of all, I could just mention the last part. Remember, you're not in favor of giving your dog any rights, and you believe you should be the sole beneficiary of anything that happens to your dog. So if you decide to kill your dog, you should not be penalized for it by law, and you don't find that ethically wrong.
well, you know what? This is a very good question. This is legally this is a very difficult question to answer.
We could just talk about ethically. What? Forget legal. Ethically, you don't believe that your dog deserves the equal rights that you have to be able to live, have your bodily autonomy rights, and
Okay, I get it. I get it.
your will to
Yeah.
live to be protected, basically. And you think you
I
should be the sole beneficiary, whatever you say goes, and whether it wants to or not, whatever you say goes. You think you should have every control of that dog's life, even when it does not benefit the dog. So killing the dog when the dog wants to live, you think you should be allowed to do that, and you think that's ethical?
you done?
Huh?
So so it
Wait,
is
yes or no?
unethical. No, it is unethical to uh, kill an animal for the pleasure of killing the animal. So if I had a dog and say I wanted to eat the dog, that would not be unethical. But if I had the dog and I'm like, oh, I just want to see it hurt, I just
Right.
want to
So
torture it, that would be unethical.
right. So from the dog's perspective, the dog, since it's sentient, since you want to talk about sentience, it's sentient. It clearly is telling you, I don't want to
I didn't
die.
bring up
I have a will
I
to
didn't bring up.
live.
What do you mean?
You eating me, I don't find that's right for me, because I want to live. I don't want to die. I don't want my body parts chopped off. I don't want to be eating. So from the dog's perspective, obviously, because assuming you have empathy, first of all, if you were the dog, would you want to be treated exactly the way you treat your dog, or say that you support treating a dog, being your property?
I would not want to be eaten by a dog.
No, would you, if you were the dog, would you want to be eaten by a human? Assuming you're in the dog's position, using empathy,
Well,
basic empathy skills.
I'm not a dog.
I'm asking you. Well, first of all, do you have any empathy? That's my question. That's my question.
I'm probably the most empathetic person you'll ever meet.
Okay, so do you understand that your dog has a will to live, a will to have its its body respected, right? Like it doesn't want to be hit or anything like that, right?
It has survival instincts, yes.
Like a human, right? You would assume a human also has survival instincts, right?
Well, humans have survival instincts, absolutely.
Okay, so technically, regarding sentience, you acknowledge that dogs are equal to humans, right? Having a
Sorry,
subjective consciousness and a will to live, right?
well, I don't know what a dog experiences. Does a dog have a
I
developed
don't know what you
sense
experience,
of
man.
self?
Does that mean
Hold on, hold on. Ask me a question. I don't know if a dog has a sense of self, uh, a developed internal dialogue. I don't
what
know
do
what
you
a dog
mean? It has a
experiences.
brain. It literally tells you when it feels pain. He literally complains. He runs away, or he or she, whatever your gender of your dog is. But it clearly tells you when it doesn't want to be. I have a family dog right here. My dog clearly so he was forced to get his balls chopped off, which I'm vehemently against. I was lied to, so he's been abused, and now I'm with him in full support for the remaining of his life because I know he's not happy. Um, with
How do you
that
know he's
with
not
that
happy?
said,
How do you
I know
know?
that's
How
not
do you know
happy
he's
because
not
he has a
happy?
different mood. He literally have his balls chopped off. The dog is not literally a male anymore. He literally lost his
You-
natural
But
production of
but this,
testosterone. He's not a male. He's literally
but this is the
lost his natural testosterone, his hormones.
and you think it's wrong to control the pet population.
No, I actually agree with that. I disagree with chopping off his balls. There's a such thing as vasectomies. Could have gave the dog vasectomy, not chop off his balls.
Well, I admit I don't know much about how these procedures work,
Right. Oh, right,
um,
right, right,
but
right. Okay.
no,
So
but I'm saying, but hold on, the dog was sterilized, so I mean, I don't know what you want. That's the way it's. I didn't even know that. I mean, honestly, I'm not really looking at dogs' balls like that, so I didn't know they actually chop them off. I don't really know, but if that's what happens, then that's the way they do it. That's probably the cheapest way.
so are you in favor of
You
chopping
know,
off human beings' balls?
what are you talking about? No, of course not.
Okay then. So what I keep asking you to name the trait. You're not gonna answer it, so I'm not even gonna bother.
I
Um,
named the trait.
no, you
I
did
named it.
not. No, you did
I
not.
said
You
responsibility.
kept on adding different stipulations to each of the questions I asked you. So we're not
I
gonna get
answered
anywhere. We
every
literally have a
single.
difference of opinion. If anybody that sees this debate and they are interested in getting in touch with you, they'll probably be able to press you even better if because I'm not a very social person, and the way I probably present arguments is probably not as good as it should, but I'm working on that skill. So, but
Yeah, no problem.
yeah,
I think it's cool that you know, offered this up and were willing to do this.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
have a have a good discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I didn't barely get anywhere, we it was good to get some experience at least on my belt regarding socialization because I'm working on that skill because I literally got to deal with business anyway. So yeah. All right. So you want to give your closing and I'll give my closing and then we'll just go ahead and end it off because it's not gonna get anywhere.
Sure. Well, I'll let you go. Since I started, I'll let you start on the close, and I'll finish.
Okay. So when we started, we basically started with presenting our positions within the debate proposition. Then we moved to explaining our positions in detail. And then we got to, going off topic from the abortion debate to attempting to get a concession on a position we hold to be logically consistent. So for your position was generally you hold humans equal. I'm not. I shouldn't say equal because I literally asked regarding equal treatment. Like you said, you value yourself as a human over a stranger. So that's not technically what I'm meaning. But you value the human species, I should say, over generally over the non-human animal species, regarding rights and rights extinctions. So you literally are anti-extending rights to non-human animals to be logically consistent with human rights. I attempted to test that to its fully logical extent multiple times. You are not willing to give clear and concise answers what on multiple different hypothetical situations. Then we close off on that. We barely got anywhere. Then we got back to the abortion. We just basically presented our different positions, our point of views. Um, so that was clearly an agree to disagree position since we can't even acknowledge um you know how do I say it agreeing to any other change our point of views on that issue at least. Then we close off now with just attempt adding some explanation on different treatment of non-human animals on our different positions. I'm anti dog mutilation of their testicles. And I'm pro vasectomy on any in order to control populations of both human and non-human animals. Um, and You're the exact opposite of that position. And then yeah, I just want to say that um even though this was not a very productive as I wish it to be, it was very it's a good experience on my part to gain more social experience with different types of people. And I appreciate your time. And yeah, I hope you appreciate the time as well. Hopefully you didn't feel it to be at least any worthless as to my point of view as I feel it is. And that's my closing.
Okay. No, I enjoyed it. And for my closing statement, well, let me be clear.
Oops, sorry.
I right. I like vegans. I love everyone. I just think that vegans are misguided. They're a bit naive, but I mean, as long as you're not talking about food, they're good people, you know. And I've actually taken an interest in the subject. Uh, Personally, I've changed the way I've eaten. I eat more plant based. You know, I know about various influencers and doctors and whatever, and I learned a lot from the various content that's out there. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of that. I just think that, you know, it should be an individual choice. And if someone chooses to go completely plant based and be vegan, that's fine. I just don't believe in the idea of forcing, dictating what other people can and can't eat. So that's basically where I would disagree. As for the issue of abortion, my hope would be that anyone who is vegan would take a strong anti abortion stance and extend their love of animals to the most vulnerable humans around us, which are those who are trapped in the womb. Um, I don't believe it's right that we should be killing human life over something as trivial as sex pleasure. I believe that there is a right to life, for human life, and that needs to be protected, and that the minimum, we may disagree on, the right of a cockroach to live, but surely, whether we eat meat or not, we must be able to come to an agreement, vegan, non-vegan, that killing preborn babies is absolutely horrific, wrong, and should be illegal. And I'd just like to thank you for inviting me on, and it was good. I thought we got some good points out. We didn't agree. I didn't expect for us to agree, but I enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, all right. You have a good evening.
All right. You do the same.
Take care.
You too.